Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome back if you joined us yesterday for the course. But for those of you who didn't join yesterday, I'm Sean Gibbons, a faculty member and microbiome researcher here at the Institute for Systems Biology, or more colloquially known as the ISB. For those who aren't as familiar with ISB, we're a nonprofit biomedical research institute located in Seattle, and we're an affiliate of the Providence Health System. We focus on some of the most pressing issues in human health, including COVID-19, brain health, aging, cancer, the microbiome, sepsis, and many other chronic and infectious diseases. ISB also focuses on improving K-12 STEM education and also beyond K-12, as you can obviously see in the last couple of days. In particular, we're interested in addressing issues of inclusion and equity for students of color, women, and other historically underrepresented groups in science. You can learn more about ISB by visiting our website at isbscience, all one word, .org. As a nonprofit research organization, we rely on generous support from our donors. ISB has pivoted quickly in the wake of the pandemic to put on a number of virtual events, such as this one, at no cost to registrants. However, if you have the desire or the means, we greatly appreciate support, which is needed more than ever in these times. And you can make an online donation at isbscience.org/donate. And there's also a little button at the bottom of our symposium website. So before I go any further, we'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the coastal Salish people here in Seattle, Washington, including the Duwamish people, past and present. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish tribe. I also must recognize our wonderful sponsors for this event, Metabolon and the Washington Research Foundation. Without their support, this would have been hard to pull off. So you can learn more about them on our website as well. And thanks again to all of you for tuning in today from all across the world, independent of what time zone you're in, being up in the middle of the night in some places. Thanks for being here. Just to give you a little bit of background on the symposium that we'll have today. We were thinking about the microbiome field and what would be most interesting to present to you, the audience. And my sort of philosophy is the past 15 years or so, we've had an enormous amount of collection of data, enormous amount of natural history of understanding who's where and doing what and enriched in disease or health. And we're in a period in the history of the field of the microbiome where we're beginning to synthesize and integrate all of that information and allowing us to kind of delve further into mechanistic hypotheses and directly testing some of these hypotheses for how we actually manipulate, change, and engineer the microbiome for a targeted, reproducible outcome, right? We know fecal transplants work, but for a lot of other stuff, it's really tough to engineer the microbiome. So we looked across the world, across all of our colleagues, and found a group of some of the most interesting and engaging researchers around the planet working on this very problem of how do you actually manipulate the microbiome to track and to treat disease. So as you see, we've broken it up into 3 different sessions for this one-day symposium. The first will be looking at mechanistic models or in silico approaches. And this session will be chaired by Dr. Priyanka Baloney. The second session is focusing more on empirical approaches on in vitro approaches to assessing the function and structure of the microbiome and how to manipulate it. And this session will be chaired by Dr. Noah Rappaport. And our final session of the day, moving logically forward from in silico, in vitro to in vivo, are in vivo interventions. This is, what are people actually doing in humans or in animal models to alter the microbiome to achieve some sort of health aim? And this will be chaired by Dr. Tomasz Wolmansky. Each session will have 2 30-minute presentations that are back-to-back, followed by a 30-minute Q&A for the two speakers in that session. Each session will have a Q&A. If you have questions for the speakers, please submit in the Zoom Q&A channel. You can click down at the bottom on Q&A and submit your questions. You can upvote other people's questions that you find most interesting. And we'll try to get to as many of these questions as we can. We know we have a very large audience, so we'll do our best. All presentations that you see today will be available after the fact on our YouTube channel. Probably our live stream will be available right away, and we'll likely have more polished versions of all the videos in the week following this event. If you have any questions or need assistance during the program, please visit our Slack channel. If you were at the course, you were using that yesterday. It's a great place to discuss presentations with other attendees and with the organizers. You've already received the link in an email, but we'll share it again in the chat of the Zoom here. Okay, so with that, that's the end of my introduction. Now I'd like to hand things off to the first session chair, Dr. Priyanka Baloney. We'll kick things off in a few minutes. I'll actually wipe down the station here to clean up after myself, make sure everything's sterilized, and give a couple minutes for Priyanka to get set up. So stay tuned.